Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today we're going to be answering more viewer questions. This episode is called Buying a Small Plane. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as tell you about HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a company that allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase a live 15-second call for $19.95 and a live 30-second call for $29.95. You can get calls from your favorite movie star, TV star, athlete. It's all possible. So check them out. It's a great gift idea for yourself or for somebody you know. Or if you're bored and you just want to talk to your favorite TV star, buy yourself a call. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. You'll enjoy it. Now let's get started. Jameen writes, I'm thinking of getting a small plane. Do you think it's a good investment? Well, that's a really complicated question, and it depends on a number of variables. Like, how many hours a month do you fly? How far do you travel to? Uh, do you fly solo or do you take a lot of people with you? What kind of deal or bargain are you getting on the plane? Are you getting a great price? What will be its monthly maintenance costs? Will you be using it for business? Because if you're using it for business, that means you can write it off on your taxes, and that makes a huge difference. And if you're just using it recreationally, then that's a different matter entirely. You have to analyze all those variables and then compare the cost of owning that plane to the cost of leasing it, renting it, or fractionally owning it. There are a lot of companies out there that will allow you to own a fraction of a plane and just use it on a fractional basis. So you can check into that as well. Also, you want to check out, you want to take a look at well-maintained older planes because they can be great deals provided that they're well-maintained and you have the books to prove it. You may also want to check into purchasing a well-maintained older plane and then simply updating its avionics. That way you get the best of both worlds. You get a very affordable older plane with the affordability and safety of great new technology. The new avionics are unbelievable. So do a cost-benefit analysis and decide what makes most sense for you. Next, Helen writes, I'm seeing a lot of shows on cable about gold mining. Are there a lot of people making money at gold mining? No. No. And once again, no. Gold mining is extremely difficult and extremely dangerous. In fact, extremely is not even strong enough of a word. It is life-threatening in many times and on a regular basis. If you watch the TV shows, you'll see that even the people who have been doing it for years regularly run into horrific financial problems, safety problems, technical problems, health problems. It is brutal. It's very difficult. In fact, some of the shows even run a disclaimer saying that it's dangerous and extremely risky. And because of that, there are a lot of new people pouring into these areas, and these people think they're going to get rich. It looks so easy in a 1-hour episode. At the end of every hour, they all take their gold and they weigh it and they measure it, and it seems like it's a lot of gold compared to working at McDonald's or some other difficult job. But believe me, in reality, these people soon realize how back-breaking the work is and how difficult it is to turn a profit. If you've been watching these shows for several seasons, then you've seen some of these people go to other countries only to have their lives threatened, to be shot at, or they'll start working on some land that they have leased, and they'll find out that the rule of law does not exist in that country. Why? Because other people routinely come on their land and mine their property and steal their gold. And a lot of these people are armed, and they'll shoot at you if you have a problem with them stealing from you. Another thing that really amazes me about these shows is how often the equipment breaks down. Because these rocks are so heavy and the process of mining is so brutal on the machinery, Their equipment is breaking down constantly and costs a fortune to repair. Oh, and by the way, because they're in the middle of nowhere, it can take a month or two to fly a spare part in. That means your equipment is down for that duration. The other problem is how challenging it is to capture the gold itself. It seems like if the gold sloughs or some of the other equipment are just slightly misaligned or not working properly, then you can end up catching very little or no gold for that day or for that week and not realize it until a lot of time has gone by. You know, it's very, very easy not to make any money gold mining. Whatever you decide, good luck. So Leopold writes, I'm trying to do business here in Russia, but it's like doing business in a war zone with everyone trying to rob you and kill you all day long. I'm thinking of coming to America to start a business. What do you think? You do a lot of research and make a plan before you come to the US because most businesses in America will fail within 5 years or never make a profit during the first 5 years. And believe it or not, there are some neighborhoods, in fact, more neighborhoods than ever before in the United States, in various cities, that are so violent that business owners routinely get robbed, shot at, or even killed. You know, one of the most dangerous jobs in America is working in a convenience store or a liquor store because these employees and owners routinely get robbed and shot. It's a brutal business, very dangerous business. You know, and a lot of these places, they'll put up bulletproof glass between them and the customers. But you know what happens then? Then they just wait outside at the end of the night, wait for you to leave, and they rob you then. They put a gun to your head, they follow you back inside, force you to open up the safe, boom, your money's gone. And you're really lucky if they don't kill you anyways, even once they get the money. It's a brutal, brutal business. Make sure you know what you're doing and where you're going to do it at. You know, investigate the business as well as you research the area that you want to open it. You know, maybe you should find a job first and then try and start a business in your spare time. At least that way you'll be able to feed your family while trying to get the business off the ground. Now, something else you should know about. Countries like America, Canada, and Mexico are extremely competitive. That means that if you come here and you open up a great new business and that business does extremely well, you know what happens next? It means that competitors will copy your business idea and open up many business locations just like yours, and they will drain away all your sales. That's why when you drive down the street in America and you see a McDonald's restaurant, there's often a Burger King or a Wendy's or some other burger restaurant right next door. Not half a mile away, but right next door. This sort of intense competition is very common here, so keep that in mind. Next, Emilio writes, is it true that getting rich in America has become much harder? Well, you know, I've said this before, but I will say it again. Yes, it is true. And I'll repeat the expression that I always repeat, and that is, it's never been harder to make $1 million in America than now, and it's never been easier to make $1 billion in America than it is now. You know, there's a tremendous amount of venture capital floating around, but most of this money is chasing the same sort of business ideas. If you watch the investment patterns of the major venture capitalist firms or real estate developers, they all seem to think alike and invest alike. It's very interesting. And by the way, when they all lose money on the same things. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to succeed. It just means that I don't believe in following the crowd. Now, you know, a lot of people have gotten very rich by doing what other people are doing, but it's just getting harder than ever. The moment you come up with a great idea, because of the internet, your idea gets quickly copied or stolen and replicated all across the country or in other nations, and it'll happen amazingly quickly. If you go to Alibaba.com and you start to check out things that are being sold on there, you will be amazed at how many people are selling the same things on there that other people are selling copies of. They'll sell copies of copies of copies. The moment something succeeds, you'll be shocked at how quickly counterfeits of that item will flood the market and appear all over the globe. There is an entire industry of people who have set up a vast infrastructure designed to monitor things that appear to be succeeding. And if they are, then they counterfeit them very quickly, and then they mass produce them with such speed and efficiency that it makes your head spin. They flood the market in no time at all. Many of these products, they have a half-life of 3 to 6 months before their popularity dies out, or before the market gets saturated. And in that time, the counterfeiters can make millions of dollars before they move on to the next item. Next, Juno writes, my girlfriend is cheating on me. I proposed to her a couple of months ago and gave her an engagement ring. How can I get my ring back before I dump her? Well, check your local laws, but just be sure, uh, because I think in most states, engagement rings are given as a gift in exchange for marriage. And if there's no marriage, then you can take that ring back. Google it first or talk to a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure in most states you can take the ring back. Next, Hendricks writes, why are there so many colleges that allow you to take tests by looking up the answers in the books while you're taking the exam? How is that really learning? It's not learning. Schools like that are just third-rate diploma mills. All they care about is getting your money. They really don't care if you learn anything or not. Find a real school that really teaches their students and demands that their students learn something while taking an exam. Next, Raul writes, what are good countries in Europe to consider moving to? Well, you know what? Poland is a great country. It has low crime, good economy, beautiful women. The culture has a strong moral compass. It's politically aligned with NATO and the United States. I believe that Poland may be one of those countries that is about to be rediscovered as a great place to visit, vacation, and move to. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.